Hey, what's up? Checkman here, and today I want to talk about this game that I've been working on. But before I explain to you what is going on here with this potato, let's talk about the reason for this game. That is, I want to address my biggest weakness, and that is not finishing projects. So I took some inventory and I realized I have abandoned 32 projects now since last time I finished and published something. It's been several years. I even had to clean up my GitHub repo because there was just too much stuff in there. And I thought, okay, I can't go on like this, right? Kind of like a rock bottom situation here. And of course, while I was abandoning all these projects, I always thought it's totally the right thing to do. It's actually the smart thing to do to work on something else. And I'd be an idiot if I keep working on this thing and finishing it. And looking back, I'm thinking, nope, I wish I'd taken even the worst of these 32 ideas and just finished it. Just get it out. I think there's such huge, tremendous value in finishing something, getting it out to people, know you went from start to finish. And then even if people just take a crap on it, they always take a crap on my stuff in a way that I didn't expect. And that's always a valuable lesson. I realized like, oh yeah, it's because it's like the problem that you didn't know you have. That's usually the thing you should address the most, right? And so I looked back and I thought, okay, why haven't I finished these 32 projects? And there are really just two simple reasons. The first one is I always underestimate the scope, right? I always think it's going to take a week, maybe two, and then yeah, maybe I might even have a third week for polishing. And 3 months later, I realize I'm never going to finish this thing, but and this is where reason number two comes in. I have another idea, and that idea is going to be way better. And you know what? I should abandon this one, do the other thing. That can't take too long. And so I realized when I feel something is the right amount of scope, then that's wrong. Like I've always been wrong with these projects. So it must actually feel like it must feel too simple. If I feel like it's just, I mean, that's barely a game or something, then yeah, that's the right amount of scope. That means I have a reasonable chance at finishing it. And then, of course, the other thing is just don't start anything else, right? It's almost like every day there's like one attack on my brain that says like, you should do this, you should do that, like the unity thing. I mean, how many people, or the unity thing, the one time feel like, man, I don't even want to know how many people use that as an excuse to ban the Unity project and start something else in Godot or Unreal. But of course, it's good to learn something else. You shouldn't do that as an excuse just to ban your project. And I bet there's like an entire graveyard of projects that could have been finished and people would have been better off finishing those things. And after that, you can switch to Godot or Unreal. Or you actually realize, you know what, they took back this one-time fee thing. And so what's really uncomfortable about this too simple idea is I also have to let go of the idea that this could have any success or could make any money. Because it feels like, when people actually want to play, there needs to be more content, it needs to look better and so on. But that's okay, I think, because that's not my biggest problem, right? Maybe in a year or two, my problem is I just finish projects all the time, but they don't make any money. Then I can address that issue. But right now, my issue is I don't even finish projects, so I don't have to worry about like, they're not going to make any money. So step by step, I'm going to start at the root cause. And that brings me to this weird thing you see going on here. It's a game called Idle Potato, where you just click things and then all these particles spawn, and then you can upgrade things and then more particles will spawn. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's going to be the entire game. And of course it's always tempting, like, maybe I should have like all these different particles and then they're fusing in a different way, and then there's like, like this huge production chain. And then I thought, nope, stop it, that's not simple enough. You know what is too simple? Only having 4 machines, and they're like 3 colored particles, and they just go from like A to B to C to D, and then the other one goes from A to B to C to D. And that's it. Like, no weird combination, no like long ass production chain, nothing. And yeah, so that's it. Like 4 machines, 4 effects. And the workflow is pretty much this. I try to go from like sketch to detail, right? I sketch out the effect, I sketch out the machines, and I work a bit more on the effect, and I work a bit more on the machines. So this one here, oh, this is actually a good example, this wheel, why I should always go from sketch to detail. So let me see, like in Blender I thought, you know what, that looks pretty cool. I can have this thing rotate, and then inside it rotates in the other direction. And when I go in here, I realized, you know what, this thing here, that, right, this inside thing here, I hope you can see what I'm drawing, probably not. Oops, like this, actually just kind of ruins the effect in the inside, and the effect in the inside also doesn't look very good. Because when I rotate this thing, obviously I should have known the frame rate is gonna mess it up, right? Actually, if I play this, right, because here when I play this, there's of course this issue that these things are too symmetrical. So first of all, I said the inner thing is kind of ruining it. And obviously I should have this outside, it should break the silhouette, right? It should be more like, if I have something like this on the outside, or maybe even make it more extreme, like this, and now I rotate this thing around, then it's going to be obvious, even when this thing is a lot smaller, which, I mean, it's going to be a mobile game, so it will be much smaller, and this inside thing, that's just totally useless. And even when I take this out, if I can find it, let's see, inner plates. So if I take this out, then here I get the issue is if I start rotating this too quickly, the problem is that the frame rate. The frame rate is just a snapshot, right? If it's rotating slowly, that's all good. If I rotate this really fast, at some point it's not going to look like it's rotating anymore. Right now you get this effect, it's rotating in the other direction, and it's like jumpy and jaggedy. And of course on mobile the frame rate is going to be even lower, and I don't know, maybe in this video, like on YouTube, it's already going to look a lot worse what it looks to me on screen. And so I realized, no, I should just have like a shader. I should have like a flat surface inside here. And if I use a shader, I can go Shift A M Y, let's see, S. If I got something like this inside, I can just use the shader, and I can put something like this. Like if this thing glows, just using a shader. And here, write a bunch of these things. Then I can actually get away with a much faster rotation at the same frame rate, because first it's here, then it's here, then it's here, right, each frame, and then the brain can like piece it together and realize, this thing is rotating. But of course, with all these tiny details, the brain obviously can't calculate, the frame rate is this, it's rotating like this. Now it looks like it's rotating in a weird direction. Let's take a quick look at the other effects. So here I got my stabilizer, which, to be honest, it is the most boring effect. But as I said, it's gotta feel too simple, and that also means like I'm just not gonna push every effect so it looks like crazy. So maybe just like this. So I got the transform here. Oh yeah, so every effect is built on, like, we have the start, and then I have this transform slider here for the shader that just transforms it, and then I have the collection. In this case, it's just by putting it inside like one spot. So, and then I can just probably do a bunch of things here. Right, I can adjust the scale, and say the scale that does not look good, then it becomes slower, and I think it can rotate like this or something. I'll just play around with that. The idea is just the machine is going to rotate and go from jittery to like something like smooth, maybe not like this extreme. The second effect, that's actually a machine that can create dark matter, because I realized if you want dark matter, all you have to do is you take light and you suck out the light, and whatever's left, that has to be dark matter, right? So it's going to be something like this, right? They're just going to get like sucked out, and then, well, that's dark matter now. And last but not least, what you do with dark matter, well, you have to kind of press it, because turns out when you look at it, dark matter still has a little bit of light left, which I can also adjust in the effect how much light I want this dark matter to have left. I think it's something like patches scale, yeah, I think they should be a bit bigger. And then I can decrease the cutoff or increase the cutoff, something like this. and then I can press it, right? I can run it through this press. Oh, another example. I'm so glad I didn't spend time on making this press. That's just a sketch, because at first I thought I want to have like two big rolls rotating and they go in between, but then I realized then you're not gonna see like this cool getting pressed effect. So I need to have something like really thin. Maybe this is even just gonna be like some laser beam or something. Whatever. I think it looks kind of cool how they get pressed, especially when I can use these sliders to adjust it. I think the press or the press range is how long that pressing range is going to be. So I could even make that a bit, like here it's a bit sharper. Then of course there's the press point and so on. And they're supposed to be coming from here. So the transformation right, so the dark matter gets pressed, then it gets stacked. And as you can see the position, it's all here. Actually this is one of the, like that's the sphere originally, there's nothing else going on. They're all just spheres, they're all sitting here basically in the same position. And then the rest is just a shader that says like, you know what, take that sphere, but you know, do all these things with the vertices and the textures. Here of course I got a thickness slider. And yeah, so I'm trying to make all these shaders a bit like toys, so I can actually then just go ahead and play around and just do things whoa with it. It's too much, it's even too much. I don't think dark matter has this much light. Something like this. Then they get pressed. Yeah, talking about the toys. So for example here I just had like these stretch variation strength, so they don't all look the same. No, variation scale too. Yeah, some have like bigger scale, some have a different scale, so they all look a little bit different. Then I realized when they're all in the same spot, this actually looks kind of cool, because it's like they're rotating, you know, like on the bottom they're rotating faster, right? And then they're just getting like into this shape. So I don't know, maybe I'll do something with that. That might look cool. For now I just think the best way to fuse them is to throw them up in the air once and then even higher, which I can jump exponent. I have that fusion wave count. Oh, I can have more waves. Yeah, I forgot about that. So I have this fusion here. So it's going to be up, 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 up. Wow, even one more. And then of course the final up. And even, as you can see, I took a bit of a anticipation break here. So it's going to be slower. And then it goes up a lot. And that's the fusion. That's how we fuse flat dark matter, right? You just press it. And yeah, so there will be a bonus whenever you have like a successful fusion, you get like a multiplier. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the gameplay. So hopefully next week I can show you some better machines, better effects, and then I actually just want to start working on like this core loop. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Let me know if you want to see tutorials on any of these effects. It's quite a bit of notes here, but yeah, wouldn't mind explaining them. I'm so much fun just playing around with these things. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.